All right, we're back. This is 8.7. We're using radicals and functions. And so function notation, remember, like t of x is equal to that. If they tell me to find t of 2, that means anywhere where I see an x, I put whatever number they told me, like a 2. And now we got 4 over 2 minus 4. That is 2 minus 4. That's negative 2. So 2 of 2 is equal to negative 2. All right. Root functions. So if we have it as a root, the domain is, let's see, all even and odd. They have, the domain of the root of an even function is all non-negative numbers. So that's 0 and positives. The domain, if it's odd, that's all real numbers. So if you have a function where it is like that, that is going to be all real numbers. But if you have a function this, where it's a square root of it, that's going to be 0 and positive only. Okay? And so here, to kind of stress this, let's look at the next one where it is, we'll do a couple of graphs. You can take a look at the graphs. And that'll kind of identify the domain for you also. So when we're identifying the domain here, y is equal to the square root of x. But now look, they did an xy table where they have 6 and 4 and 2 and 1 and 0. So when it's 0, it's 0. When it's 1, it's 1. When it's 2, it's 1.414, and so on. 4, the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 6, I don't know what the square root of 6 is. What is the square root of 6? Is 2.449. We'll call it 2.45 about. Okay, and so let's graph this. And so what it ends up looking like when you graph y equals the square root of x, 0, 0. There isn't anything on the negative or below the x-axis. It starts at the origin. That is the lowest point. And then 1, 1. And then 2, it goes just a little over 1, 1.414. And then we go 3, 4. It goes up to 2. And then 5, 6. It goes just a little over 2, like almost 2.5. Somewhere like that. And so when you look at this graph, it's sort of like half of a parabola. If you tip your head to the side, it's half of a parabola tipped on its side. And so that's, if we write it as a function, we would say f of x is equal to the square root of x. All right? And that would be the function. Okay? Because it's a square root, there's no negative numbers, and there's no, negative x's it's not real. So it starts at 0, 0. Now, f of x is equal to the cube root of x. That's a different story. Now look, they left xy open so we can pick our own. But now look, this time we can put negatives in there. So look, if I take negative 8 and I put it in for x, well then that kicks out negative 2 for y. If I take 0 for x and I put in 0, that kicks out as 0. If I take positive 8, the cube root of 8 is positive 2. And so when we look at this, initially, if you just do those 3 points, that's not really enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2. And so we would have to do more for you to actually get the feel of it. But it is like this to that point, and then it like flips, and then it goes like this. And so you get this kind of, that is a third degree equation. Well, a third root equation rather. Okay, where it's sort of like that, and then it's a little more squished down because it's a third root. And then if you flip it and flip it, you get this other side, this reflection of the other side. This point right here is called a point of inflection, where the concave up turns to concave down, like And so again, we worry about concavity in the next course, not so much in this one. I just wanted to expose you to that a little bit. All right, the next one is going to be 8, 8.